Best way to extend your growing season in the fall and early spring, possibly even winter, is with a homemade hoop house like this one. And this is how I made it. What I did is I bought some rebar, 4 feet long, and I stuck a third of it into the ground. It's 1.5 feet on both sides. Then I bought some 10 feet long, 1/2-inch diameter EMT pipes, which I bent, and I stuck the rebar inside the EMT pipes. So you can see on both sides. And that created a skeleton of a hoop. Now, to bend my original pipe, I used this really nifty tool from Klein Tools. It's called a conduit bender. It's made in USA, which is amazing. It comes in different sizes. This one is 3/4-inch EMT. To bend your pipes even easier, you can use an EMT pipe that's bent to bend your EMT along this bent pipe. So there's plenty of videos on how to do that, and it's gonna be your own homemade jig. To stiffen up this structure, I got some 10-foot 2x4s. I connected the 2x4 to the rebar with some pipe hanging tape at this height because I wanted to prevent the EMT pipe sliding onto the rebar. Now you can put the 2x4 higher on the EMT pipe, and you can tie a wire here to prevent the EMT from sliding onto the rebar. With scrap pieces of 2x4, I joined the long pieces together. The most important bracing of the arches is at the top, and how I made this is also with 10-foot 2x4s, joining them with a hanging tape over the EMT in the center of the arch. And I did that with all of them from beginning to the end in the center of each arch, like that. I also joined them with some scraps of 2x4s, the same way I did on the side. Once you have the hoop house reinforced with 2x4s, you can roll out some good greenhouse plastic, make it nice and even, and then screw in some strips of 1x2s every 6 to 8 inches all along and on top, so the plastic stays in place, it doesn't fly away. At each end, I framed in a door. How I did that is that I leveled the ground, put some stones to keep the 2x4 dry and leveled. I cut out some notches to keep the 2x4 in place. The frame and the door is made from 2x4s. Then I took all the scraps of plastic that I had and I filled in all the gaps. I secure them in with 1x2s. See here, there. Same thing in the door. I made a very creative door here to fit this frame. I used 2 hinges like this to connect it. To keep it from swinging, I built a little contraption like this. You have a little hook, eye hook, and a couple of sticks. You attach it like that. I put a fragment of 2x4 so the door does not swing inside the hoop house. It just stays in place. In order to make roll-ups on both sides, I use a 3/4 EMT pipe because it's stiffer than 1/2 inch. I joined it with 3/4 EMT couplings, which you can't see right now because they're a little rolled up. And in order to make a handle, I bent this 3/4 EMT pipe. I joined the EMT pipe with 3/4 corner couplings. You lift it and you roll it up like so. And to keep it in place, I cut a piece of EMT and I just put it in here and keep it in the ground like this. So when it's hot, I rolled 2 sides up. Now this side rolls up just a little bit, only 1 turn to let the additional air out. And how it works is like this. Take 1 turn and the ground keeps it down. To attach the plastic to the 3/4 EMT, I use polyethylene water pipe, which is flexible, and I cut short pieces, I notched it, and I cut out about 1/2 inch to make it easy to slip on and off. And then, not to damage the plastic, I took tiny pieces of plastic, which I slipped inside. And to show you how it goes on, I simply put it on like this. It's very smooth, and it goes on really nice. And it's very tight, and it keeps it in place. To keep the plastic in place during high winds, I took some rope and I tied it on the rebar at the bottom, both ends, and I stretched it from one end to the other end of the arches. And at this end and at the far end of the hook, I kept it in place with an ice screw. So I put it every 3 arches. So we have number 2 here, I put this rack here so nobody steps on it. Happy growing.